Hello, everybody. Welcome to another review from the Powerbomb Project. I am one of your hosts, Daniel, joined by my other two hosts.
It's Berman.
Yo.
And, yep, we are talking about AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling's The Forbidden Door. The second Forbidden Door. It's the 2023 edition. And, yeah, overall, I have to say this is one of the best shows AEW has put together for their fans. And, yeah, I thought this was honestly an awesome show. We had a bit of a rough experience at the movie theater that we went to, and it was a Galaxy theater. And basically, there are only a few theaters that play these pay-per-views in the States, and they're never the same theater each time. They always change theaters, which makes it like more of an annoying process. So, like, if you want to go to the same theater twice, you really can't. It always changes. So basically, not just one theater, but multiple theaters shut off the pay-per-view during the last 5 minutes of Bryan versus Okada. No, let me rephrase. The last 10 minutes of Bryan versus Okada. And when theaters finally got their power back, all you can hear was the sound and not see the picture. So we heard a bell ring, and then we heard music play, and they announced the winner, but we never saw how the match ended, the last 10 minutes of it. So we had to take our time and watch the rest of our match on our own time. And we did we didn't get refunds, but we got, money back through store credit or movie credits.
Tickets.
We got like 3 tickets each. So 8 free tickets to Oppenheimer, I guess. But outside of that, that was very disappointing. And yeah, that's all I could really say. But honestly, in the long run, getting to see Oppenheimer for free and seeing the rest of the main event for free, I was the least fucked over out of everyone in that theater. I'm not mad one bit. I know there were people who traveled out of state to go here and other shit like that, so definitely more tragic for those people. But oddly enough, like the day after, I was like, I'm fine. Like the more and more I thought about it. So yeah, it was shit. It sucks. It better not happen again. AEW, don't ever fucking do it again. And yeah, that's all I really have to say though. And we'll talk about that before we dive into these matches real quick.
Yeah, it was fun too. It was pain in the ass to me that I hated that we had that 5-minute delay to watch the main event stuff. It pain in the ass, but we still got free tickets from it, which is better than nothing from or bad experiences. But still, the pay-per-view is great. I do the same opinion as Danny that this was a great pay-per-view that AEW put together. There's only like 2 matches that were not really needed to be on there. So for me, really fun pay-per-view for me.
And same here. If those 2 stupid matches were gone, this pay-per-view would have just been a 10 off the bat. I'm confident to say.
All right, now we will start off by running through the 0 hour quickly. Chaos and El Desperado versus the Mogul and Bushi, which stars Swerve Strickland and his goons. I will say every moment with El Desperado was kind of fun. El Desperado's great. But outside of that, this was as average as it gets. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, same.
10 out of 10. 5 out of 10. Shit, 5 out of 10. This is not a 5-star match.
He's Dave Meltzer. He's fucking
5 out of 10.
Nice. Definitely same thing. It was just an okay 0 hour match. Doesn't need to be anything special. So 5.
I'll just give it a mid.
So 5?
Yeah.
All right. Now, the next match was an Owen Hart Cup round 1 match. Athena versus Billie Starkz. Athena got the win, rightfully so, but it was just another average match. I'm going to give it a 5.
Same for me. It's a very simple match. We knew that Athena would win. It's nothing big. Nothing big is supposed to be an 0 hour match for a reason. So 5 for me.
And it's another mid-ass match. I'll give it a 5. Wah.
Stu Grayson versus El Phantasmo. This is a match that didn't overstay its welcome. I thought it was a solid match. I'm comfortable enough to give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, same. I love El Phantasmo right now. I would love to see him more in the main card, maybe siding with it's called Jay White. But still, I think this is a fun match just to show off how good El Desperado, it's like El Phantasmo, and Stu Grayson is. So I was happy to see it. Fun. El Phantasmo won, so it was very fun. So for me, 7.
And again, a 7. It's unfortunate the other two matches weren't that good. They could have just been forgotten. But Stu Grayson delivered, and so did Phantasmo. Had fun entrances. It was a pretty solid match. 7.
Now, the last match on the 0 hour is United Empire, Kyle Fletcher, Jeff Cobb, and TJP versus LIJ, which featured Shingo Takagi, Hiromu Takahashi, who is the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, and Bushi. Overall, this was another fun match. Probably the most fun match on the 0 hour. And yeah, that's all I really have to say, not to go too in depth with the 0 hour. So overall, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, same again. It was a 0 hour match, but it was still very fun. It could only just been these two matches and have been a good 0 hour. So definitely, I would give it a 7.
And yeah, it's another. I mean, it's the United Empire. I mean, come on, you're not going to get a bad match with these guys. It's always a good time with them, so it's 7.
All right. Now the main show. There will be timestamps in the description below for every single match that we're going to be talking about. And yeah, there's 9 matches on this main card. Originally there were 10, but Adam Cole had some kind of illness. He was sick, I guess. It's nothing too major, though. Don't worry, people. So yeah, Tom Lawler, he ended up having a replacement opponent in a dark match against Serpentico. The match was less than 5 minutes, and Tom Lawler won. So that was that. But now let's move on to the main show. We kick it off with the very first match, the AEW Championship Match, MJF versus 1/3 of the never openweight 6-man tag team champions, Hiroshi Tanahashi, also known as the Ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, I know that Hiroshi is, he can't really move like he used to, but I feel like MJF got a really damn good match out of him here. And honestly, MJF proved that he is a great in-ring talent. And yes, he has his character and all that, but he is actually great in the ring. And, I feel like we don't look at that enough. So I just wanted to say it. But, yeah, MJF had a very MJF finish. And, the ref, something happened with the ref. Hiroshi had MJF pinned in a roll-up pin 1, 2, 3, but the ref wasn't able to count it. And, yeah, so MJF hit Hiroshi with the Dynamite Diamond ring. And cover 1, 2, 3. MJF is still the AEW champion. And yeah, it was about 15 minutes. It didn't overstay its welcome. And yeah, I thought they were great. So overall, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. It's not as good as the 4 Pillars Fatal 4-Way or the Iron Man match MJF had in this title run, but I will say it's a good little great cap to add to his title run.
Yeah, it was fun too, and it was a great match. I definitely seen a lot better from Hiroshi Tanahashi than I've seen from a lot of matches he had in most recent years. It was very great. It was a fun match. I really like it. It was one part, and we didn't mention it. You should probably mention it really quick. It was very funny that MJF made a tweet come out in Pacific time saying that I posted this saying that I'll probably beat Tanahashi at this moment of time. It was a very good one too. You can talk about it, Danny, if you want. A little bit more in detail if you want.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so he scheduled a tweet at 5:10 and the bell rung at 5:05. And MJF basically said, I scheduled this tweet because I basically would have beaten Tanahashi by now. It was basically something like that. So he assumed he would have beat Tanahashi in 5 minutes or less, but he didn't. And the tweet is still up, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, so that was a very good part. It shows a little bit of MJF character right there. So we don't see a lot of wrestlers do that specific thing. So it's good. I like that type of cheek thing right there. But the match was fun. The ending was still good. It makes sense for MJF to have that diamond ring. I give it an 8.5.
And yeah, I actually thought this match was gonna suck originally, but just the amount of storytelling with MJF just being such like the biggest troll in his like outfit, saying that New Japan is indie, and then Tanahashi on his robe saying his ass. It was such a good time. And MJF was pretty much just trolling the entire time, and there was like stupid stance and them going against each other. It was really fun, very comedic though. So I'm gonna give it 8.5 too.
Now, let's move on to match number 2. Owen Hart Cup round 1 match. CM Punk versus Satoshi Kojima. Now, this is what I'll say. Personally, I love this match. Now, nothing too crazy happened in the match action-wise outside of some stiff lariats and an elbow drop to the balls. But besides those things, this was just a very fun old-school match. Like, you had the crowd very involved, and they cared about every little thing that was happening to Punk, so that made like Kojima get an even louder reaction than he was supposed to get, which is amazing. You know, that's great. Yeah, just the whole 75% of boos, 25% of cheers and chants. That was just really cool. And you have Punk just trolling the crowd at times. And yeah, all I have to say is I could tell Punk is loving this. It feels now like CM Punk is back in wrestling more than he did in the year he had with AEW. And that's nothing against his year of AEW. I thought his year of AEW was amazing. But what this is doing right now, these loud, insane crowd reactions, there's so much business and money and potential out of this. It is absolutely limitless. And that excites me. There's so much we could do with CM Punk right now. And yeah, I've just been really enjoying what has happened with Punk in the past week and a half. It's been incredible, honestly. And I'm glad that Punk is back because AEW, this is going to be the hot take, AEW is at its best when CM Punk is there. And it's going to piss some people off. It's called All Elite Wrestling because it's the elite. Well, truth be told, when Punk was gone for the 9 months, AEW was fucking stale. And now that he's back, AEW is back. And if that's a tough pill to swallow, so be it. This was a great match. I give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, for me it was very fun. I love seeing this fight. I love the boos from Canada. I think it was just very funny because he was just kept on like pushing the needle on Canada. People, all the Canadians, and they're just pushing the needle. Keep it on. It made me laugh every time you tried doing something and just kept on getting the hoodoo, and it was very funny. It was good comedic, and it had a very fun match too. So I definitely give it a 9.
Same here too, because I think my favorite part of the match is just CM Punk just trolling Kojima. He's just like slapping him in his chest, just like Kojima. It was just silly enough, dude. And then he also teased that he'll turn briefly at the stage towards the end of his match, but we all know it's gonna happen. So again, you give it a 9. It's excellent.
Yeah.
You know what's really funny too?
Huh.
A lot of these matches are very like comedic. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Like,
Yeah,
there's always something stupid happening, but it doesn't take away from how great the matches are.
yeah, like when you logically think about this match, they're like a solid bit of the match has to do with an interview that happened 20 years ago. And it's just, Punk just, saying Kojima and Lariat over and over again. And he did it again, while this time actually hitting Lariats on the man who does the Lariats. But anyhow, let's move on to the next match. That would be match number 3. AEW International Championship Match. Orange Cassidy versus Shibata versus Zack Sabre Jr. versus Daniel Garcia. So you know how I've been pushing for a very long time for Daniel Garcia to become a face, become a wrestler. You know what? To the public, I am sorry. I was wrong. Daniel Garcia is the best sports entertainer that exists. And he has found this perfect blend of being both a wrestler and a sports entertainer. Eventually, we're going to do the Jericho Garcia match for sure, but this dude has finally found something special, something really funny, and I appreciate the hell out of it. And he was honestly, as great as everyone did, Daniel Garcia was the star of this match, and that is the part that surprised me. Orange Cassidy did his thing. He did great as always. Zack Sabre Jr. put on a great performance, and Shibata put on a great performance as well. Like, all of them killed it. But in the end, Orange Cassidy pinned Garcia by taking advantage of Shibata. So Shibata hit hit a move, and then he was ready to go for the pin, but Orange Cassidy threw Shibata out the ring. Are we setting up an Orange Cassidy Shibata one-on-one match? And I think if we are, that'll be pretty interesting. But for now, we just have this Fatal 4-Way, and this Fatal 4-Way alone was great, and I appreciate it. So overall, I'm going to have to give this an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, this was a great, fun match. I wanted Zack Sabre to win so many times, but still, this match was way too much fun. Just to seriously, Daniel Garcia, man, those dance he was using every time. Every time he got slapped, he kept on doing the dance, slap, dance, slap, dance. It was very funny. There was a part when it was Zack Sabre Jr. and Shibata just hitting each other super hard, and then every time Daniel Garcia wanted to interfere, freaking one of them just slapped him right in the face super hard and just kept on dancing. It just made me laugh so badly. It was he was probably one of the best parts of the match. The end was very good. Shibata was going to hit his finisher, the penalty kick, and Orange Cassidy just went and then just kind of pushed Shibata out of the way. Orange Cassidy out the 1, 2, 3. I expect to see that Shibata versus the Orange Cassidy title match again, and this is maybe where Shibata takes that title, because I think it'll be fun to see him take that title too. For me, it's definitely an 8.5.
And Sammy, do you guys get the impression that OC is going to turn heel soon? Because he's doing like a lot of heelish shit, including this match, of him doing Shibata dirty, like every time.
I got a good answer.
Yo.
The answer to is Orange Cassidy turning heel is no. He's getting desperate to keep his championship. Heel tendencies, but I wouldn't say he is all the way to a heel, or he's going to be a heel.
True, but just the ending of alone was the most dirtiest thing I've ever seen to do to your friend.
And think about it like this. This has been a continuing thing. The desperation started whenever he fought Kyle Fletcher, and he tried to win by countout. You know, at first it seemed like a joke, but he was really trying to win by countout there. Then the Battle Royal proved that he was even more desperate by just simply kicking Swerve's hand off rather than anything else. And the fact that he didn't get many eliminations throughout the match, despite being champion. And then, we flash forward to Swerve. That he did another, he tried to do whatever he can to get that win, and that was also a desperate win. This has been a thread. This is not Orange Cassidy turning heel. This is a man who is desperate to keep the championship he's grown to care about.
Yeah. It'd be interesting, but it makes sense to see that Orange Cassidy is probably not going to come heel. He's just doing what he can to win. It makes perfect sense.
Fair enough. Well, thank you for the answer, and for the match itself, keep it nice and simple. 8.5.
And you know how he keeps coming out in like tape and everything, like whether it's his ribs or his neck or whatever, like he's in pain, right? And he's been having that tape since the Kyle Fletcher match. He's been wrestling just about every week for the past couple months. So he's only really getting this desperate because he's not 100%.
True enough.
Now, let's move on to match number 4. The IWGP Heavyweight Championship match. By the way, there were a lot of people pissed off in Japan about the card placement here. Like, they thought that it was absolutely disrespectful to put the IWGP Heavyweight Championship on match 4 out of the 9. And basically, if you don't know, Japan is like very old school in the sense where they do least important matches to the most important matches. Like, they always like to do it by order from first to last. So they took it as like giant disrespect as this was one of the earlier matches in the card. And you know what? I think that's fair. So, yeah, I think this could have been like match 6 or 7, maybe. Like at Forbidden Door, it was match 8 out of 9 last year. So seeing it be 4 out of 9 this year, yeah, I get it. I get the frustration. I think you could have swapped this and the Jericho match. Like the Jericho match could have been 4th, this could have been 8th. But that's all right. You know, shit happens, I guess. But yeah, the match itself was only 10 minutes, surprisingly. But it was very entertaining, and they utilized the time very well. Sonata was pretty dominant throughout, as he should have been. And he didn't even need to hit a finisher to win. He just hit a moonsault to win, which I think is hilarious. But yeah, after the match, Hook tried to be a good friend, help him up. And then Jungle Boy is no longer Jungle Boy. He is now Tarzan. He's turned heel on Hook. And yeah, Taz, you got him pissed off. He didn't commentate for the rest of the night. Love the little details. I'll also let these guys talk about this along with the match. But overall, yeah, I'm going to give the match an 8 out of 10. Again, pretty good match. But the heel turn is definitely what everyone is talking about. So yeah, I thought this was great work here overall, done by everyone involved.
Yeah, this was very fun. It was an okay match, and I was very surprised to see that Sonata just won by the Muda moonsault. But it was a good, it was a weird way to get to a great ending, and I think it was very fun. Like it's just Sonata just being what he is, a dominant champion. Then just let Jack Perry lose. Jack Perry gets pissed off. Just clotheslines the hell out of Hook. This story aspect with Taz being just pissed off, didn't commentate. That was a great, nice placement on there. It sounds so interesting. I can't wait to see on Dynamite how this whole thing is going to reflect on Jack Perry, how this is going to fit everything. So, to me, I was happy with it. So, 8 for me.
And I just love how Sonata didn't even hit a finisher to beat Jack Perry. That was like, damn, I already knew Jack Perry was going to turn heel the moment where he couldn't even be bothered to use a finisher to finish him off in 10 minutes or less. It was a great match, though. But the ending, my God.
I think that definitely was the right way to go about it, though, because him losing in 10 minutes, yeah, that gives him every right to be more pissed off about the loss.
Sorry, dude, he's just not as good as Sonata, bro.
Yeah, no way he was touching Sonata.
But yeah.
So, 8 out of 10 for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this 10-man tag. We got the Hung Bucks, Eddie Kingston, and Tomohiro Ishii versus Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Nosuke Takeshita, and Shota Uno. Overall, this was a great 10-man tag, and I feel like everyone got their little moments to shine. And you know, I definitely thought the greatest part of the match was all the storytelling stuff that happened involved with Mox and Eddie Kingston. And, you know, they obviously didn't want to fight, or Eddie didn't want to fight Mox. Mox obviously was trying to hold back too. He didn't want to fight either, but he had no problem letting Claudio attack Eddie or all that. So I thought that part was just a tad bit inconsistent. But, oh well, maybe that just proves Mox has lost the care for Eddie, whereas Eddie hasn't. I thought it was a great match. I feel like this would have thrived even more if there was like some hardcore element to it, but that's okay. I think it was still a great match. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, this was very fun. It was very chaotic too. And I do love, and I did say something about that when we did the review, the prediction, saying that Tomohiro could just take the pin. That he was not going to be the most important person, but actually he did, and I'm happy about that. Tomohiro Ishii took that win. He got the win with the vertical drop brainbuster, and I'm happy because I do love Ishii most of the time. So this was interesting. There's only one part that was kind of weird, but it was when Young Bucks was going to go for a super kick on Jon Moxley, and then Eddie Kingston pushed him out of the way to take a super kick. It was a little off. Maybe it's like just mixed. Maybe he just forgot that he was not on the same team as Moxley. He just didn't want to see that happen. It was a little weird moment, but it was interesting at the same time. So, you know, this match was very fun, very chaotic. I really liked it. I think Konosuke did a really was kind of like the MVP to me. He had a lot of crazy crap happen. So to me, I give this a 9.
Same here. I'll give it a 9 too. And speaking of Konosuke, just him shouldering the shit out of Ishii, sending him to the fucking shadow zone, was insane. And I really want that match in the future. It was overall chaotic, and yeah, I kind of get with the Eddie Moxley, they're still friends or whatever, but it was kind of sloppy. But I'm not going to discredit the match. It was fun, so I'll give it a 9.
Now we're going to be talking about mid match 6. AEW Women's Championship Match, Toni Storm versus Willow Nightingale, who is the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's Champion. But it's okay. So, overall, I will say this. They were stiff. There was a Death Valley driver on the apron. And, so I guess for that stuff, like Toni having like her mouth was like all bloody and stuff. So I guess it was cool. Like I said, they were being stiff. They tried, but it just wasn't that good of a match at all, unfortunately. And yeah, overall, I'm gonna have to give it a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, same. It was very mid. It was. I think the only best part was that Death Valley driver on the ring apron. That's really the main thing. Everything else was like a little too mid for me. They could have done so many better ones. We talked inside the car before we went inside, saying they should have had a Stardom woman be against Toni Storm, then Willow Nightingale herself. And I think it was a kind of a dumb decision. They did that. So for me, I just give it a 5.
And same here too. But you know what the funny thing about this match? There's actually some drama, like really stupid drama for like a hot second. And it's because of the comments that Toni Storm said, calling Willow a fat cow. And everyone lost their fucking shit on Twitter for like 3 hours. And I'm just like, it's a fucking heel.
God.
It's stupid. Why are we making this drama thing? Get over yourselves.
Yeah, right. Like, she's supposed to be a bad guy. People aren't supposed to like her.
She's like, Toni Storm's fat shaming.
Okay, so heels aren't allowed to do bad things.
You just can't fat shame dude according to Twitter. Even though you're a fucking bad guy.
I mean, I disagree with the whole fat shaming notion in the first place. Like, sorry to offend some viewers, but if you're fine being the way you are, that's okay. But if you're like, being fat and you're supporting that shit and advocating for it, just stop. Go get some help. Like, honestly, I think it's just an unhealthy thing in general to like be like, oh, shame on fat shaming. No, shame on you for even trying to shame on fat shaming, if you even understand my method to my madness.
Yeah. But I'll tell you that the match was mid. That's all I had to really talk about. 5.
So, now, man, where do I even begin? Match 7, the AEWGP United States Championship match. Kenny Omega defending against Will Ospreay. Now, as you guys know, they had their first match on the first week of 2023. And yeah, we all knew it was one of the greatest matches we've seen. And they did it again. I mean, the way people felt about the Omega Okada matches, as amazing as those were, these matches with Omega and Ospreay, holy fucking shit. These are some of the greatest matches I've ever seen. And this isn't recency bias. I genuinely think the sequel might have outdone the original. And that's saying a lot. The first match was brutal. It had great storytelling. But this match was even better in every little aspect. Ospreay was determined to get vengeance. And vengeance he got. And some of the moments you had in this match, like the physicality, the near falls, and just the knee strikes and everything, like it all, the tiger driver on the head. Oh my God. This match is absolute insanity. And Will Ospreay hitting Omega with the one-winged angel and having Omega kick out at 1. Literally, there's many reactions that I haven't heard that are as loud as that one. That was a crazy crowd reaction, and I couldn't even believe what I was seeing when Omega kicked out of the One-Winged Angel at 1. So, yeah, the match is just literal perfection. And if there are any people out there trying to say Will Ospreay or Kenny Omega aren't among the best wrestlers living on the planet today, they're absolutely delusional. Overall, this match, who am I kidding? Do I even have to say the grade? I'm going to say the grade. It's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, 100%. I said 100% 10 out of 10. This was one of the best matches I've seen in my lifetime. It was super freaking good. I think the Tiger Driver what's it called? Tiger Driver 91. That was just so brutal. The knee strikes that he did, all these the hidden blades that he did, Storm, and I think the most brutal part was when he in the beginning of the match where he's just wanted to get revenge. He got pissed off, so he freaking starts smashing Kenny's head into the table, and it just looked so brutal. And that was probably one of my favorite parts right there. But it was just like every part excelled, and excelled. It was so goddamn good, showing that Will Ospreay should win the tournament. I forgot the G1, and take that Sonata title. Take the Sonata. Take the title from Sonata. There's nothing else to say except a 10 out of 10.
And same here. What I also do like about Will Ospreay's performance is just the fact that he was healing up. And I saw like a little comparison of him and Shawn Michaels kind of doing the same thing of disrespecting the flag and like spitting on it too. It was just so damn good. It's a 10, man. Like they couldn't have done a better job.
Now, I have this one last question.
Yo.
Is this the best match of both men's careers?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
I agree. This is the best Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega match that exists. Yeah, third match. We won it. Now we move on to match number 8. The Suzuki Gods versus Sting, Darby Allin, and Tetsuya Naito. Now, this was a disappointing match. Honestly, it was mid as shit. The cool parts of the match, though, to be positive, were the 630 to Sting through the table, which I don't think that was meant to happen, but Sting is okay. He confirmed it at the media scrum. He's okay. And honestly, it looked cool. So that was funny. And then, there was also, what was it? This back elbow Jericho did, and they called it the Judas effect. And if that was the Judas effect, that was the worst Judas effect of all time. And what else do I have to say? Yeah, we all were excited to see Naito, except he didn't even do much, and he won by not his finisher, the Destino. He won by a freaking pin, a jackknife covered pin or some shit, like a roll up. And basically, Jericho and whoever tried to attack after the match, but they ran away. So, yeah, this match was just mid. It was disappointing. Like, you had your cool, fun moments here or there. Darby got some nice offense and whatever. But it was mid. And honestly, this is the worst match of the night. Overall, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, same. I'm not going to say anything else then it was really mid. It was 100% the worst match to me. That weird back elbow to Darby Allin, that makeshift Judas effect, it looked very bad, botched to me completely. That Sting versus Sting again put through a table, that was pretty cool, but still, like, the ending sucked completely. So for me, it's 100% 5.
I'll just give it. I wasn't even a 6, but the more and more we're talking about this, it was okay. Whatever. I'm gonna give it a 5. It was another mid-ass match, but it's Chris Jericho, so I'm not surprised.
Sting, Chris Jericho.
Got him.
I'm asking this question to both of you.
Yo. What was the question?
Oh, I guess I cut out. But the question was, do you think Jericho should retire?
I don't think he
Yes.
should. Damn, just straight up, bro. Dude, not even like, oh, maybe he'll have a good match. You're just like, no, you just retire.
Like seriously, if this match showed anything, he does not put a lot of effort into his matches right now. Like a lot of that Judas effect was bad. One and two. I don't know. This match didn't look like Jericho really cared. He just really didn't care. And he was in front of his hometown. No, it's not his hometown, but like his people, his Canadian people, and didn't do shit really good. Like that surprises anything right there. If he didn't really care about even his people, even his fellow Canadians.
Listen, man. Each needs to fight old wrestlers like himself, and then we might get a 5. We might get a 5.
This is a 5.
Okay,
5
but
stars.
a 6. We might get a 6.
So you're both practically saying yes.
I'm not saying he should retire. I'm just saying just give him like people his age because he can't keep up with these youth, man.
I don't know if we want to see old ass bastards fight on
I would. I
wrestling.
want to see him fight Ric Flair. That'd be the funniest shit ever.
I do not want to see a 2023 Jericho versus Flair match. That might be even worse than the tag match.
That'd be my forbidden door.
Chris, you only like old men almost about to die matches.
That's why it's funny.
That's why I love Jeff Jarrett so much.
Because it's funny.
But anyways, we already talked about the experience we had with the main event, but we'll just talk about the match itself, despite experience. Bryan Danielson versus Okada. People were kind of disappointed by this, while still calling it an amazing match. I wasn't. And I'm kind of going to explain why. Okada still has some amazing matches, but he doesn't hit every single time. Especially because he's getting older, and he's been the top guy for New Japan Pro Wrestling for 10 years now. So, I don't want to be a dick about it, but I'm kind of going to say it. Okada's kind of past his prime. Just slightly past his prime. He's still amazing. He could definitely still go. And I'm definitely not saying he shouldn't retire, but Okada hit his peak in like the years of 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. And, after that, he started to just slowly lose that same, just consistency throughout his matches. But he's still amazing. There is no doubt about it. And I thought these two delivered an amazing match. I thought Okada gave a good performance, considering his performances in the past few years. And, it's not me digging at his performances in the past few years. He has consistently good matches. He just used to have consistently better matches. But there's nothing wrong with that. And, he had an amazing match with Sonata. He had an amazing match with Ospreay and other stuff like that. But, yeah, besides, and he's been good with the 6-man tag stuff. So, yeah, I think Okada's still doing great. He's just not peak Okada. And you know what? I could sort of say the same for Bryan, but that'd just be inaccurate because this is peak Bryan. I think we can all agree on that. So, with that being said, though, I was not disappointed, and I thought this was an amazing match. And Bryan made Okada tap out, who was the first person to make Okada tap out in 8 years. The last person to make Okada tap was Shinsuke Nakamura in 2015. So, overall, I'm going to give this match a 9 out of 10. And Bryan did get an injury in this match. He'll reportedly be out for 6 to 8 weeks. So chances are he makes All In, but that isn't guaranteed. So we don't know yet.
Yeah. It sucks to see that happened to Bryan, but I gotta say that this was a fun match. It sucked that we missed the last 5 minutes, but we still watched it when we got home. This still was very fun. That tombstone on the ramp was great. It was very good, and I do say that I feel like Okada is past his prime, and a little bit. It kind of shows here because now he doesn't have his plot armor anymore. To me, it feels like he doesn't have that invincible shield around him. Now he has a weak barrier now, I would call it. So for me, I would say that. But this match was so fun. That seizure that Daniel Bryan faked was an interesting ploy, a nice a fake, like, faking that you're dead, pretty much. So it was very interesting. I'm happy to see Danielson finally win and prove that he's the best in the world by submitting the best in the world in Japan. So that was really fun. So I give this a 9.
Same here. And not only did he make him tap out, because it was reported that it was like, I don't know, it was the 15 or 20th mark. He actually broke his arm in the match, and he still continued to wrestle even after that. Is absolutely insane. And he still made Okada tap. So just for that
There's a
alone,
picture
there
of
is.
Brian's X-ray that got released on his wife's Instagram story,
Oh,
and I'm going to be posting it into this right now, so you guys get an idea. And they are saying, as we speak, it is worse than they thought. So,
oof.
yeah, he's probably not making All Out.
Can you make All In?
I mean, All In, both All In and All Out,
Oh,
actually.
well,
So there.
shit.
Jesus. Oh, that's not good.
Rip.
If no one's seen it, pretty much I described really quickly his arm, and then this one of the sides of the arm pretty much it completely broke one side of the one side of the bone completely in half, and it looks pretty broken, and it's really brutal to see that, man. That does not look good.
Listen, man, we can fix this. All right, I'm looking at this X-ray, right? And this bone looks pretty broken, right? You put some hot glue in that shit, and it'll be good as new. Guarantee it.
Let's see.
Good expert doctor's opinion.
It's so
Yeah.
simple, dude. Just move the bone back in place and put some glue on it. It's fine.
He'll make it for All In. No problem.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about the match, fellas?
It was a 9. But it was, to be fair, I wouldn't say I was bored, but it was pretty mid for like the first 15 minutes. It was so goddamn slow.
That's not a 9. The 15 minutes, that's not a 9 then.
It is a 9 because once you go past that, that's when the shit started to get cooking, so it's a slow burner. But it's good. It's really good.
Okay.
You can have slow. I know you can have a slow burning match and still have an excellent ending. Let's be real here.
Yeah, you can.
Let's be
But
real here, dude.
Those
First
like
10 minutes
basically
were
saying
ass.
that's like basically saying that 3/4 of a film is ass, then the ending was great, so the whole movie was great. That's
Still a good
basically what your
match.
review is.
I didn't say the match was ass. I just say it was a little boring for the first 10
You,
minutes. And
you
then
literally you said
picked up.
15.
Or if
Fine.
it was 10 minutes where I was
All
bored.
right.
And then it picked up.
Let's see. Well,
Freak you.
nah, man. I have to call out these plot holes.
Now I'll call it the plot
But-
holes of your flash review, man.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, that's
Well,
all I
let's
got.
talk. Yeah, I figured.
You just don't like it because you don't put babies in microwaves. But whatever. Match
That's
is
a
good.
conversation for another time.
What did you think of the overall pay-per-view?
I thought the overall pay-per-view was amazing. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
And you, Berman?
I'll give it a 9 too. It was a fun match to watch. All the matches were fun except one.
It could have been a 10. God damn it, we're gonna get there and all in. I believe in it, but it's a 9. 2 mid-ass matches, but you have excellent other matches along the way. So here's hoping All In becomes the first 10 match we get. Or pay-per-view, I mean.
Yeah, I agree. So, thank you all so much for watching. I've been Daniel.
I've been Berman.
Chris.
I'll see you all probably next week for Money in the Bank. And we'll be doing 2 retro reviews later this month. So please be on the lookout for our content. And please hit a like, please please hit a like, please comment and subscribe. That'd be really helpful. That'd be really nice. We'd appreciate that a lot. In return, you'll just be a good person for doing so. So yeah, I hope you all take it easy.